Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have a lot of important stuff to cover. There's some crazy news out there. And guys, all I'm asking for y'all is to press that like button. I want to always try to hit 500 likes on every single video. And we can easily do that. So to not waste any of y'all's time, first of all, crazy announcement just came out from Ripple. Check this out. The government of Colombia is set to utilize the XRP ledger for land registry. I'm gonna put it into this little corridor right here. So apparently after a year of work, Ripple partner Pierce's Technology, a Barcelona-based software development firm, has announced the launch of Colombia's first national land registry on top of the XRPL blockchain. The solution has been implemented for Colombia's national land agency, Agencia Tierras, and is based on the XRP stamp, which enables digital assets to be registered on the XRP ledger and their authenticity to be verified with QR code. The solution hopes to register more than 100,000 adjudications in the short term to guarantee confidence for Colombians. Apart from utilizing the XRP ledger blockchain, Pierce's Technology is also a long-standing Ripple partner. Its connection with Ripple is expressly mentioned on its official website. It also spoke of its renewed alliance with fintech company Ripple in a recent tweet, quote, "Excited to renew our alliance for the following year as the trusted blockchain company bringing tech with our partner Ripple," end quote. This is huge, guys. This is huge. Now, before I move on, one thing I want to quickly plug is my TikTok. So, as I said before, I'm really not a TikTok guy. It's kind of hard for me to get into it, but, and we like butts over here, one thing that's very important is that here I can make these updates rather small, about a minute or so, sometimes like 20 seconds. And whenever there's news like this, which doesn't deserve its entire own video, I can easily just make a quick little update over on TikTok. And I actually already made 2 TikToks today. All right. It's like, I'm trying, all right? I'm trying. Having said that, here's another huge piece of news. Well, actually, it's huge relatively, mostly because a billion XRP just got unlocked again. But it happens every single month, so it's not really that big a deal. Enormous 1 billion XRP unlocked on Ripple Escrow wallet. 340 million XRP transferred just prior to that. And that's actually interesting. Fun fact, I wanted to make this video yesterday and kind of warn you guys about it, warn you guys about the FUD, warn you guys about the transfers, but I kind of forgot. And so here we are today. It's talking about some transfers of XRP that's going around, but honestly, we have tried for so many weeks, potentially months, to look at these huge XRP transfers and deduce something, just kind of see exactly what it could mean. But it's absolutely awful to do something along those lines. You don't know. Even if they're transferring to Coinbase, it could just be the Coinbase wallet. It could also mean a dozen other things. So every single time this happens, I just kind of ignore it nowadays. It's just like, another huge transfer. Okay, sure. We don't know what it means unless they tell us. All right, it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster as I have a lot of crypto news for this episode, so stick around. And again, guys, if you did not yet, make sure you press that like button. Deutsche Bank analyst sees Bitcoin recovering to 28,000 by December. So there's 2 things which you want to kind of quickly say right here. One is that the Deutsche Bank, of course, the analysts here, there's a ton of analysts over at that bank. If they let go of a statement like this, it doesn't necessarily mean too much, except for the fact that this is a really important statement. I've said to you guys before in my previous video today, mostly regarding this Ripple and SO2, invest in coins that have true utility, but that you know will stick around, that have this longevity, basically. The fact that this Deutsche Bank analyst also sees Bitcoin at 28,000, all it showcases is just don't give up. Eventually, there's going to be a turnaround. And I honestly think if you keep buying your way down, even right now still, you'll eventually be worth a ton. All right, just a quick little piece of news. We're not going to spend too much time on this. Not giving up. Van Eck refiles with the SEC for a Bitcoin spot ETF. They just keep on trying, all right? It keeps getting rejected every single time, but they're trying. They're trying. They're not giving up. And again, the Grayscale is suing the SEC already for their own Bitcoin ETF, which again got unjustly, is what they're saying, denied 2 days ago, I think. Apparently, talking about lawsuits, the CFTC sues over alleged $1.7 billion fraud involving Bitcoin. And I'm just like mesmerized by the amount of money that this individual apparently scammed. $1.7 billion. I mean, you gotta, that's putting some effort in, all right? I mean, it's not Do Kwon level just quite yet, but it's a lot. The CFTC said Thursday that Mirror Trading International Proprietary Limited and its leader Cornelius Johannes, okay, sounds like a South African name, which it is from the context, between 2018 March and 2021, bilked at least 23,000 Americans out of Bitcoin investments that were worth $1.7 billion at the time. It says here it's MLM, fraudulent MLM. that collected money from people to invest in an unregistered community pool. And what exactly will come out of this, we do not know just quite yet. But apparently there's so much Bitcoin loss right here. And it says the agency's complaint says the firm deposited just over 1,800 Bitcoin for trading and lost around a third of them. There was also no bot, the regulator said. So yeah, that's literally a scam. But that is also another warning for you guys, right? Stay away from all this shady ass stuff. If it looks too good, it probably is. And again, a very important message right here. If you see me sending you a message over on some social media, it's fake because I don't do that, right? The chance of me texting you is rather small. I'm not sure exactly why I would do that. Even if I had a crazy opportunity, I'd tell it in a video. I'd make sure that it's really clear that it's me. And if you really want to verify, right, if you're wondering, is this Dusty, yes or no, just go to my official Twitter, which is at @TheDustyBC. Just type it in for yourself and send me a message over there. Not asking me, oh, is this really you on Instagram? Because now you've already heard it's not going to be me. But just text the scammer, all right, prove that you're real by replying to me back on Twitter, because I won't. Okay, that makes me sound like a real big douchebag. I'm just meaning, if somebody asks me, hey, is this really you? I tend to not reply because there's 30, 50 a day or something like that. There's a lot of those. But it usually gets kind of filtered with all the people asking for money every day. And my DMs are pretty full. Having said that, it's just the easiest way to get out of these things. If you're ever in a clutch like that, just tell them to respond on many different platforms because they can't do that. All right. And again, actually, to kind of back up our story of earlier, Binance CEO CZ says bear market is cheap time to buy. Relatively, it really is, guys. I said this before in my video regarding the 50 to 100x opportunity. I still agree with what is said in there. Right now, it's still a juicy time to buy, regardless of how low the prices go. If you bought the stock, basically the S&P, at the worst position back in 2007 or 2000 even, and then you had to wait out the entire bear market. Well, okay, at the top you would have bought it at $1,000. 500 days later, you could have maybe bought it, let's say $400. Right now it's $4,000, $3,000. At the end of the day, it's a better result in terms of X. You know, the difference between like a 10X and a 70X could be a whole lot. But would you rather have this 10X then or nothing? From that perspective, I always think like just keep buying. Timing the markets is way more important than timing the markets, if you ask me. FTX's deal with Celsius didn't go through after apparently a $2 billion shortfall in the balance sheet. That's really crazy. It says there's a $2 billion hole. That's a very expensive. No, never mind. Shouldn't say that. But they've been quiet, actually. I've been noticing that. I was checking out their Twitter a little while ago, and they have not said anything from June 19th. That means 2 weeks of just quietness. I guess from a certain perspective, it's smart to not make themselves bigger of a target. But they're not getting the amount of hate that Luna guy is getting, Do Kwon. But I guess also because the amount of money that he's scamming us out of, or at least losing, is a lot less significant. But here it says $12 billion worth of assets in May. That's a lot of money, though, still. Moving on, Cardano's Jet stablecoin might soon launch. And I said before, and I will say it again, this is most likely going to be one of the biggest things for Cardano, putting them really on the map. As I said before, you need a big stablecoin, you need your own native stablecoin. And again, this one is going to be an algorithmic one, so it's going to be a fun little situation. But you need that to stay relevant, if you ask me. For example, on Cardano, which stablecoins can you use? Potentially, there's already some sort of bridging solution for USDT or USDC, but I've personally never used it on there. And actually, I don't really utilize too much on Cardano. I don't think I've ever used anything on there. And that's one thing that's got to change. And one of the easiest ways to get that done is through stablecoins. So that's always a very nice announcement and a very nice thing to kind of look forward to. There's also one interesting announcement, and I kind of want to hear your question about or your answer about it. In the library of the SEC case, this is not Ripple versus SEC, but the library is another company which was sued by the SEC. They're in a sort of interesting situation. Specifically, if you compare it to Ripple situation, it's not similar, but kind of, I guess. It has some sort of overlaying points. They apparently have a hearing on the 20th of July, and I kind of want to know from you guys, should we also call into that one, or do you guys not really care? I mean, from a certain perspective, it doesn't matter whatever result comes out, and we also don't know if we can actually call in. But I actually, by accident, just renewed my US subscription to be able to call to the US for basically free. Since I already paid for it, we can surely call in, I guess, no? There's actually one more thing that I want to take some time on to fully start to understand, and it is this right here from David Schwartz. Excited to announce the release of Clio 1.0, which significantly improves the scalability of access to XRP ledger data. It doesn't matter how quickly and cheaply the ledger can reach finality, if you can't support massive numbers of queries from wallets, exchanges, and explorers. But more importantly, just over from the Twitter, there was a guy who said, the XLS30D proposal is awesome, packed with innovation. Interleaved execution of AMM, automated market makers, and order book trades, single-sided deposit withdrawal executed as dual assets deposit with swap, trading fee voting, trading advantage slot auctioning. And Anders asked, Do you think this will greatly increase XRP's liquidity? Which is a good question on its own. David says, I'm very confident it will increase XRP's utility. I'm just a bit less confident it will greatly increase XRP liquidity, because that will depend on the level of adoption, obviously. So the reason it increases utility is because this is just another, I guess, a lot of possibilities from the get-go. But with another slot of possibilities doesn't mean there will actually be more used. If you guys get that drift, like, even though there's more possibilities for it to be used, it doesn't mean by definition that it'll be used more. And that's the difference between utility and liquidity in that, because it will depend on the level of adoption, but it certainly could. The way it's designed, it should, unless we get something really wrong. Increase XRP utility significantly, even with very low adoption already. I'll try to write up some more details about this shortly, and I'm greatly looking forward to that. I said I'll be waiting and watching for that update, and I'll most likely update it to you all. But that was it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you press that like button. Again, make sure you check out my socials. The link is down below. And if you're looking for an exchange to buy XRP on, I think you can use KuCoin or BitTrue. Both of those, I have a link for that down below. If you're in the US or whatever country you're at, I think both of those will work in any one country. But just check out the links down below. If you use those, you also support me, but also you might get yourself some discount or some bonus, which is why I highly suggest you guys to check them out. Having said that, that was it for today. See you guys later in another video, most likely somewhere later today.